Hey everyone, Kurt Yaz here, and in this video we're going to be talking about BlockFi and the recent news of them pausing all account holders' withdrawals and potentially filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. For those of you who don't know, I personally had several $100,000 between BlockFi and Nexo.io, both in these crypto interest accounts over the summer and earlier last year. And then in early summer, one of the platforms, Celsius, actually had issues and paused withdrawals from customers. When that happened, things hit the fan. Most people freaked out. I personally really freaked out and took the vast majority of my funds out of the platform and out of both of those platforms and was pretty much liquidated from having any risk exposure. Well, what we also learned was BlockFi was really struggling and they were having to go in and work with different other teams and companies within the space. And they actually partnered up with FTX, and FTX actually gave them a $400 million credit line. The problem is FTX just filed for bankruptcy and they have over 1 million creditors and they're going out of business. So the life preserver that BlockFi had doesn't look to be that stable anymore. In fact, it's non-existent. This week, unfortunately, BlockFi actually emailed all of its customers and said, hey, we're working hard. Essentially, they said the same message that Celsius had sent back in July about how they're pausing withdrawals and deposits and they're working around the clock to fix things. The reality is we're not going to see any of this money. I don't think BlockFi is going to be able to give anybody a dime. And this has been crossing across the entire space. Crypto.com paused all their deposits. It's been kind of a mess. And in my opinion, I just don't think it makes sense for anyone to take the risk now with these platforms that it used to make. With banks now paying 2 to 3%, in the case of like Wealthfront here in the United States, 3.3% APY, up to $1 million FDIC insured. Why would you take the risk that you're seeing that's quite high now at this point with companies like BlockFi or Crypto.com or Celsius in the past or Nexo.io, which again, I have had good experiences with Nexo.io, but why would you take that risk to earn an extra 4 or 5% when you have no idea what they're doing with your money and there's no sort of oversight? And we're starting to find out even more now that the auditing is really sketchy and just how unregulated the space is, how much risk there is. So in conclusion, I'm right there with you. If you have funds stuck at BlockFi, I also have about $10,000 still there in the account, and I'm pretty much saying goodbye to that. I'm hoping they can turn it around. I just don't see it because the big bailout they got went bankrupt, and they were taking risky bets. And you've got to be thinking that BlockFi does not have all the assets collateralized that they're holding on to. So when people come knocking and asking for their funds, they have to pause them and they don't know what to do at this point. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment below. Let me know if you're on BlockFi, if you've had experiences with BlockFi. Hopefully you're not getting hit too hard by this, but it's a crazy time to be in the crypto space, especially these interest account type platforms. There's a lot of risk. So be safe, be smart. If you have funds in other platforms, I'd recommend transferring, going to a bank, unless you're getting some kind of crazy return, and really understand what they're doing with your funds. Otherwise, I just don't think it's worth taking that risk.